small house party. I say house party, more of a neighbour's dinner. I think you'd had a really long and hard week at work, and you just needed some real rest and relaxation, so you fell asleep. So we helped carry you upstairs. You were out for the count, and I just tucked you into my bed. I hope that's okay. Just as I was about to go back downstairs, you started to toss and turn, so I thought I could stay and help you sleep. You can sleep in this bed tonight. I'll leave you safe and warm, tucked up. I think you deserve a good night's sleep, so I'll not try to move you tonight. Shh. How are you feeling? Are you feeling okay? Good. I'm glad. Well, if you want to close your eyes, you can do. That's totally fine. If you want to keep them open, that's fine too. I'll just be right here. Do you think a candle would be a little bit cozier? I did bring this one through just in case. It is a woodwick trilogy candle called Calming a Retreat, and I'm sure it would make a beautiful crackling sound. It's meant to sound like a fireplace. I thought that wasn't going to work there, but we have lit our candle. just gonna place this over here. So you can see it crackling in the background. I was just checking my phone to see if they're getting on okay downstairs. But I think their taxis are arriving, so you might hear some cars passing and doors slamming. They're all heading home, so I'm just gonna stay up here with you. I hope you're warm enough. I have some fresh lavender for you. I'm just gonna pop this on your bedside table here. Smell it though. It's from the lavender fields in France, and it smells so wonderful. I'm getting lavender everywhere. Silly me. The bag's a little bit leaky. I did want to offer you a little something. If you're still awake, I brought this through. It's a biodegradable mask. I know you are really conscious about the environment. It's called a Moisture Balm Sheet Mask. And it's super hydrating and glow reviving, containing hyaluronic acid and sakura. So you just pop this on for 15 minutes. So it just really helps with the serum to basically help your skin glow, and especially if you've had a really hard and busy week. Sometimes we notice it on our faces if we're stressed or anxious, and it will just help relax you. And it's made from plant origin tissue that envelopes your skin with a deeply hydrating vegan formula suitable for sensitive skin. So, would you like this on? Okay. gonna smooth this out across your skin. It feels so nice. The serum, I'll use the residue on me. How's that for you? Is that okay? There's quite a lot of excess there. You look very chilled. Is it cooling on your face? Good. I'm just gonna gently massage right through your ear. It can be really nice feeling. Have you ever had anyone trace your features before? Like, trace your face and trace your ears? I can do that for you if you like. It can be quite tingly. Just use this brush. So if I just trace around your face, and then your eyebrows, your nose, your lips, Sheet mask in your eyes. Oops. Not to worry. Is that any better? A little bit, but not completely. I need some extra help. So this is a dream balm here. It's like an oil infused with chamomile and lang and lavender to help you sleep. So we just apply a couple of little drops to your cheeks. One there and one there. I know you have your mask on, but it'll diffuse through the mask, like so. You smell that? It smells so good. and relaxation with lavender, vetiver, jasmine, Roman chamomile, lang lang. And we're going to spray it in and around your head and on your pillow. And you can breathe in the scent and it will make you feel like you're falling asleep, okay? How nice is that? I thought for a second that was another taxi, but it was not. Alright. Now, what did I do? I brought some things for you. 3 lots of books. You might be thinking, why? Well, I didn't know what to read to you, because everybody should be read to for bedtime. So, let's do what we haven't done in a while. I know. It's a very short story, but we will do it together. It's called The Legend of O'Donoghue. In an age so distant that the precise period is unknown, a chieftain named O'Donoghue ruled over the country which surrounds the romantic Lough Lean, now called the Lake of Killarney. Wisdom, beneficence, and justice distinguished his reign, and the prosperity and happiness of his subjects were their natural results. He is said to have been as renowned for his warlike exploits as for his specific virtues, and as a proof that his domestic administration was not the less rigorous because it was mild, a rocky island is pointed out to strangers called O'Donoghue's prison, in which this prince once confined his own son for some act of disorder and disobedience. His end, for it cannot correctly be called his death, was singular and mysterious. At one of those splendid feasts for which his court was celebrated, surrounded by the most distinguished of his subjects, he was engaged in a prophetic relation of the events which were to happen in ages yet to come. His auditors listened, now wrapped in wonder, now fired with indignation, burning with shame or melted into sorrow, as he faithfully detailed the heroism, the injuries, the crimes, and the miseries of their descendants. In the midst of his predictions, he rose slowly from his seat, advanced with a solemn, measured, and majestic tread to the shore of the lake, and walked forward composedly upon its unyielding surface. When he had nearly reached the centre, he paused for a moment, then, turning slowly round, looked toward his friends, and waving his arms to them with the cheerful air of one taking a short farewell, he disappeared from their view. The memory of the good O'Donoghue has been cherished by successive generations with affectionate reverence, and it is believed that at sunrise on every May Day morning, anniversary of his departure, he revisits his ancient domains. A favoured few only are in general permitted to see him, and this distinction is always an omen of good fortune to the beholders. When it is granted to many, it is a sure token of an abundant harvest, a blessing the want of which during this prince's reign was never felt by his people. Some years have elapsed since the last appearance of O'Donoghue. The April of that year had been remarkably wild and stormy, but on the May morning the fury of the elements had altogether subsided. The air was hushed and still, and the sky, which was reflected in the serene lake, resembled a beautiful but deceitful countenance, whose smiles, after the most tempestuous emotions, tempt the stranger to believe that it belongs to a soul which no passion has ever ruffled. The first beams of the rising sun were just gilding the lofty summit of Glenaa, when the waters near the eastern shore of the lake became silently and violently and suddenly agitated, though all the rest of its surface lay smooth and still as a dome of polished marble. The next morning a foaming wave darted forward, and like a proud high-crested warhorse, exalting his strength, rushed across the lake towards Toomey's Mountain. Behind this wave appeared a stately warrior fully armed, mounted upon a milk-white steed. His snowy plume waved gracefully from a helmet of polished steel, and at his back fluttered a light blue scarf. The horse, apparently exulting in his noble burden, sprung after the wave along the water, which bore him up like firm earth, while showers of spray that glittered brightly in the morning sun were dashed at every bound. The warrior was O'Donoghue. He was followed by numberless youths and maidens, who moved lightly and constrained over the watery plain, as the moonlit fairies guide through the fields of air. They were linked together by garlands of delicious spring flowers, and they timed their movements to strains of enchanting melody. When O'Donoghue had nearly reached the western side of the lake, he suddenly turned his steed and directed his course along the wood-fringed shore of Glenaa, preceded by the huge wave that curled and foamed up as high as the horse's neck, whose fiery nostrils snorted above it. The long train of attendants followed with playful deviations the track of their leader, and moved on with unabated fleetness through their celestial music, till gradually, as they entered the narrow strait between Glenaa and Denise, they became involved in the mists which still partially floated over the lakes, and faded from the view of the wondering beholders, but the sound of their music still fell upon the ear, and echo catching up the harmonious strains, fondly repeated and prolonged to them in soft and softer tones, till the last faint repetition died